What if I told you this SUV was never meant to run 35-inch tires, yet somehow it looks and performs like it was built for them? The new Lexus GX550 Overtrai is already one of the most talked about off-road SUVs in America, but once you see it on 35s with the Expedition 1 build, everything changes. This isn't just about looks or lift kits. It's about whether Lexus finally created a true luxury off-roader that can challenge the big names without losing comfort. But does this setup actually improve capability, or is it all hype? Let's find out. The Lexus GX550 Overtrai represents a major turning point for Lexus in the American SUV market. For years, the GX line quietly built a reputation as a reliable, old-school luxury SUV with serious off-road DNA, but it often lived in the shadow of flashier rivals. Now, with the all-new GX550, Lexus is making a much louder statement. This SUV is no longer just about comfort and durability, it's about capability and attitude. The Overtrai trim is especially important. It's aimed directly at buyers who want real off-road hardware without giving up daily comfort. Think adventure-focused families, weekend overlanders, and buyers who were previously cross-shopping vehicles like the Toyota Land Cruiser, Ford Bronco, or even high-end Jeep builds. Lexus is clearly targeting a younger, more enthusiast-driven audience than ever before. What makes this build even more interesting is the Expedition 1 setup paired with 35-inch tires. This isn't something Lexus designed at the factory, but it's exactly what many serious off-road buyers want to know. How far can the GX550 be pushed before it stops feeling like a Lexus? Visually, it transforms the SUV from a refined luxury vehicle into something that looks trail-ready and aggressive. In the next sections, we'll break down how this setup affects design, interior comfort, performance, and real-world usability. Because the big question is whether this GX550 Overtrai still works as a daily driver once it's built for the wild. Once you start breaking down the Lexus GX550 Overtrai, it becomes clear this SUV is very different from the GXS of the past. Under the hood, Lexus replaces the old V8 with a twin-turbo V6, and while some purists were skeptical at first, the real-world performance tells a more interesting story. Power delivery is smooth, torque comes in early, and on pavement, the GX feels quicker and more responsive than before. It no longer drives like a heavy old-school truck. It feels modern, confident, and surprisingly refined. Now add the Expedition 1 setup with 35-inch tires, and the personality changes instantly. Visually, the GX transforms from a clean luxury SUV into a serious off-road machine. The wider stance, aggressive tire profile, and added armor give it a presence that turns heads both on the street and at the trailhead. This is the kind of build that makes people ask questions at gas stations. Off-road, the Overtrai trim really starts to justify its name. Features like locking differentials, off-road drive modes, and a reinforced suspension setup help the GX stay composed over rocks, loose dirt, and uneven terrain. The 35s provide extra ground clearance and traction, allowing the SUV to crawl over obstacles that would stop most stock luxury SUVs in their tracks. That said, this setup isn't without trade-offs. Larger tires add weight, and you can feel it during hard acceleration and tight steering situations, especially in urban driving. Inside, Lexus doesn't abandon its luxury roots. The cabin feels solid and well-built, with high-quality materials and a layout that balances toughness with comfort. The seats are supportive enough for long road trips, but still hold you in place when the trail gets rough. Technology is modern and user-friendly, with large displays and intuitive controls that don't overwhelm the driver. Even with the aggressive exterior build, the GX still feels like a place you'd want to spend hours in. Fuel economy, however, is where reality starts to creep in. The combination of a powerful turbocharged engine and oversized tires means efficiency takes a hit. This isn't the SUV you buy to save money at the pump. It's the SUV you buy because capability and presence matter more than MPG numbers. What makes this build especially interesting is how well it balances extremes. It's not as raw as a dedicated off-road toy, and it's not as soft as a typical luxury SUV. It lives right in the middle, and that's where things get exciting. Because once we talk about pricing, real-world usability, and whether this setup actually makes sense for daily driving, that's where the GX550 Overtrai might surprise a lot of people. This is where the GX550 Overtrai either proves itself or falls flat, and the results are surprising. Hitting the trail in this setup, you immediately notice the transformation. The 35-inch tires chew through loose gravel, mud, and uneven rocks like they were custom-made for this SUV. Every corner, every climb, every unexpected obstacle showcases the GX's newfound confidence. It no longer feels like a luxury SUV pretending to be off-road capable. It acts the part, and then some. Acceleration and handling on rough terrain are smoother than you'd expect. The twin-turbo V6 provides instant torque, while the suspension soaks up bumps without bouncing you out of your seat. Even steep inclines, tricky side hills, and rocky switchbacks feel manageable thanks to the Expedition 1 modifications. For anyone who doubted that the GX could handle serious off-road challenges, this is the moment that proves it wrong. But it's not perfect. On extremely technical terrain, the added tire size and weight sometimes make precise maneuvering tricky. Tight trails or urban streets feel bulkier, and you notice that larger tires also slightly dull throttle response during sharp acceleration. Still, these are minor trade-offs compared to the overall capability gains. What's truly impressive is how seamlessly the GX balances extremes. You're experiencing raw off-road power and precision, yet inside, luxury and comfort remain intact. The cabin never feels compromised, even when the SUV is climbing over uneven rocks or powering through mud. By the end of the trail, it's clear. The GX550 Overtrai on 35 seconds isn't just a capable SUV. It's a revelation for luxury off-roaders. But the big question remains: does this capability justify the price, and who is this truly for? Up next, we break it all down with buying advice, final pros and cons, and whether this build deserves a place in your garage. After putting the Lexus GX550 Overtrai through its paces, it's clear this SUV has redefined what a luxury off-roader can be. The combination of Lexus's refined craftsmanship with the aggressive Expedition 1 35-inch tire build creates a vehicle that balances comfort, capability, and visual presence like few others in its class. On the pros side, the GX delivers exceptional off-road performance, smooth yet powerful acceleration, and a cabin that remains plush and practical even in the roughest conditions. The 35-inch tires and upgraded suspension elevate its trail capability, making it a serious contender against traditional off-road SUVs. It also stands out in the U.S. market as a unique choice for buyers who want both luxury and adventure-ready hardware. On the cons side, larger tires and added modifications slightly reduce maneuverability in tight urban spaces and impact fuel efficiency. It's not the most wallet-friendly SUV, and buyers who prioritize miles per gallon or city driving ease may want to consider other trims or vehicles. So who is this for? The GX550 Overtrai on 35s is perfect for enthusiasts, overlanders, and adventure-minded families who refuse to compromise on comfort or style. It's a vehicle for those who want a luxury SUV that can also tackle serious trails without hesitation. In the bigger picture, Lexus is signaling a shift in the US SUV market. Luxury doesn't have to mean tame, and capable off-road performance doesn't have to sacrifice refinement. This could set a new standard for competitors, influencing future designs and builds across the segment. So here's the final question. Is the GX550 Overtrai the ultimate luxury off-roader for you? Let us know in the comments what you think, share your own experiences, and if you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. There's more in-depth car reviews and comparisons coming your way. End of video. Display optional cinematic shot to reinforce call to action for likes, comments, and subscriptions.